See you.
Wow, women of wrestling. So cool. This is cool. And hey, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We're tying this all together. Inspirational story with one of WOW's superheroes. What an amazing woman. Erica Jungle Grrrl Porter, as I learned. Now I know how to say it. See, now I know how to say it.
I like it.
She taught me. This is so cool. So yeah, I got to start there. We're going to talk about Breast Cancer Awareness Month and what you're doing, and obviously about WOW. But just tell us a little bit, because it's spelled Jungle Grrrl, Grrrl. And I'm just curious the thought process of doing it that way.
Well, I think how ordinary would it be to be just Jungle Girl? So when somebody's talking and when I'm being introduced, there is no greater sound than, I mean, I'm from the Amazon rainforest, so we're a little like gritty and animalistic. So when I'm introduced, I want to hear from the Amazon rainforest, it's Jungle Girl.
Yes. She does that so good. Yes. Hey, Erica, what has it been like working with WOW Women's Wrestling? All women's wrestling group. Started way back when with Glow. Had another incarnation of Glow, and now it's WOW Women of Wrestling. David McLean, original founder. He's obviously part of all this. Jeannie Buss of the LA Lakers ownership is also a big part of all this. What has it been like with WOW and this sector of it?
It's a great promotion to be working for, not only for the aspect that women are at the centerpiece of the entire organization, but they're really at the centerpiece of the intricacies of our own life and how we weave that into the storytelling. I think that any business, any organization that is successful, the success in it is in the storytelling. And when you can blend the lives of the individuals and bring them their life and the intricacies of what it is to be a woman and to be a female athlete, but also to be able to be relatable to not just young girls, but to be relatable to men as well. I think that's a really special thing to be able to do. And David McLean has done it brilliantly, where the women are at the forefront. And he was before, I mean, I think before its time, because really, as you said, Glow was where it started. We had a second iteration of what Glow was, which was the evolution of WOW. And we started that back in 2000. And I think that since the start of WOW in 2000, it has evolved to an even greater product that's on the market. And it's savvy, it's smart, it's brilliant, it's athleticism and storytelling at its best.
And I'll say this, Erica, now in South Florida, we could see it every Saturday night, 11 p.m. on My 33 TV. And it's an hour, action-packed, but you bring up a good point, because I thought of this. Not only is it the wrestling action, but it also tells real stories, almost a little reality TV of each WOW superhero, each WOW villain. And it tells their actual real lives. And I want you to talk a little bit about your life, because this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and you are an inspiration to those. So tell us about it.
Thank you. Well, I think it's important when you can capture the hearts of the people that are watching. I think there's a different level of investment for people when they're watching programming. You know, there's a lot of ordinary programming out there. And I think what differentiates WOW from any other promotion is how much it gets involved in each individual character's life. And I think that that's important. And so in June of 2020, I was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. And I believe that, you know, we create the narratives that we want in our life. And I think it's important to understand that what I have done with that diagnosis is create a platform to empower other individuals that have been diagnosed, whether it's with breast cancer or any other cancer. And I founded the Endorphasm Foundation because when you're diagnosed, it's a very complicated situation. You feel as though you're relinquishing all of your control to the medical community. And there's not much that the individual feels that they as an individual have control over. Self-care is powerful, and it's not something that is talked about by the medical community a lot. And the interesting thing is that medicine and self-care are not mutually exclusive. There's room for both. And so what we do is we get people upon diagnosis and we empower them to move through cancer, to move through life. Movement is what every human body was designed to do. And when we stop moving, we die. And so it is really, really valuable, not only in how it changes somebody physically, but it is an emotional piece that the medical community cannot handle. The individual has to do that for themselves. And so I'm really proud of the work that we're doing. I'm proud that WOW has supported us in the work that we're doing. We held a fundraising event last November where all of the WOW girls, not all of them, but a number of the WOW women came out and supported our foundation. And it was really, really just an amazing event.
I'm curious too, when this all happened in your life, and we take things for granted sometimes. I'm curious, did you think at first, like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do things anymore. I'm not going to be able to wrestle anymore or train others or anything like that? Or those thoughts go in your mind, or you were right away, this isn't happening. I'm taking this out.
No, that was never a thought that went into my head. I'm a true believer on focusing on the controllables. What do we have control over? And no, I wasn't going to change the diagnosis. I was diagnosed with a stage 4 diagnosis. That wasn't going to change. But what I could do is control all of my controllables, because there are two kinds of people in the world: those that allow the world to impact them and those that choose to impact the world. And I am an individual that chooses to impact the world. And so never was there a thought. The thought that crossed my mind was, who better than me to relay this message and to create this organization to empower individuals to move through cancer?
What was it like with WOW family, friends, and just the support that you got when this was all happening and happening now?
Believe it or not, David was one of the first people that I spoke to when I received my diagnosis. And, you know, he gave me his full support, whatever it is that I needed. And really what I needed was just people to believe that still all things are possible, that this was just part of my journey, but is not the narrative of my life. It's just a piece of it. I am a mother, I am a wife, I am a business owner, I am a WOW professional wrestler. I am so many things. I'm a superhero in real life and not just on WOW, but and I happen to have cancer. So it's part of the story, but it is not the story.
Social media, are you very active there? And did you find that there were people reaching out to you after learning of this via social?
Oh, I had a lot of people that reached out to me, and it was a lot of just questions of, how do you stay positive? How do I, what can I do for myself? And I said, I'm glad you asked, because there are a lot of things that you can do for yourself. I think it's really important to understand that our life is ebbs and flows. There are going to be, wonderful things that happen in our peaks. And then there's going to be these valleys of lows, but we still in those moments have opportunities to really make a decision that we ourselves are going to control the narrative, and not only going to control the narrative, but we're going to do everything in our power to stay as positive as we possibly can.
In doing all this, and I think too, something's learned with this, there is negative on social media, but there's a lot of positive on social media as well. There's a lot that we can do and say and support and just do things like that. I'm curious, Jungle Grrrl. I'm curious.
I love it.
Hey, don't tell Dave McClain I did it like that. He might fly me in and want me to do the ring announcer. You have a good ring announcer. You don't need another ring announcer. But it's interesting because I'm curious, how did you become a pro wrestler and then a WOW superhero?
So it was really by chance that somebody had told me that they were looking for athletic women for a superhero show. So it didn't really we had tryouts and they didn't really specify what those tryouts were for. And it wasn't until I went to Marina Del Rey's where they had the tryouts. And so David was at the front of this conference room explaining what Glow had been and what WOW was now going to be, and that they were interested in basically capturing the essence of all different women from all different backgrounds with different stories. And they wanted each of those individuals to, some young girl or some boy to be able to look at that woman and be like, oh, I see myself in that person. And so it was and even from there, it's evolved, but I was so intrigued by that whole process. And I was intrigued. I had friends that were wrestling for WWE at the time who were like, Erica, this would be right up your alley. And at the time, women were kind of the sideshow. They were managers. They weren't taken very seriously. There weren't many of them. The conversation with the ring, when they were talking about the women in the ring, it was with utter disrespect. And I had no interest in participating in something that didn't shine a positive light on female athletes, because we are athletes and we have just as much to offer as any of our male counterparts do. And so the intrigue was, here was this man that wanted to shine this light on female athletes and to give us the spotlight. And so I didn't have to be asked twice whether or not I wanted to be part of the organization. And it has certainly been one of the most exciting things I have ever done in my life.
And Erica, was your background in athletics? Was it acting? Was it both?
I was not an actor. I had hoped to be a professional dancer. I'm not very much built like a professional dancer. And so my opportunities and the options that I had were very limited. But I always considered myself an athlete. And I think that I have quite a presence. So whether or not I intended to be an actress or not, I think that being a WOW superhero, getting to be Jungle Girl was the absolute pinnacle of what and who I was as an individual, and continue to be this fearless, just dominating figure in life.
What is the Ultimate University? And is it also WOW University, or are they two different things?
Oh, what is Ultimate University and what is WOW? I think there is only WOW University. I think that is all that exists. I mean, what more do you need?
I don't know. I'm just reading and checking. You'll have all the answers, not me. So, hey, how is Selena Majors? We'll wrap this up. A few more questions. How is Selena Majors, who trains a lot of the wrestlers, has she helped your career and just her influence in WOW?
Selena Majors is an extraordinary woman. So she is the one who trained me. So back in 2000, when I started, it was Peggy Lee, it was Thug, and Selena Majors. And they both had a huge influence in my life because they beat the odds. They had a lot of integrity. And to me, integrity is everything. When I get to meet with people and interact with people that operate at the highest level of integrity, that's a really special thing. So it's not just what they taught me in the ring, but what they taught me as women in the business and what they taught me as human beings. And they're caring and loving, and I wouldn't be where I am today had it not been for them.
What are your thoughts of Penelope Pink and Miami Sweet Heats? Lana Starr. Penelope Pink is Florida. Miami Sweet Heat, of course, Miami. So this is I mean, maybe a lot of fans don't like them, but their successes are good. But I'm wondering, what does Jungle Girl think of that group?
I am well aware of where they're from. To me, there's no greater champion than Jungle Girl, but I respect the level of talent that's in that WOW locker room. And so, kudos to Penelope and kudos to Miami Sweet Heat for coming out there and doing their thing.
And Erica, I'm also curious.
Oh, I have a question for you though.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Are you a Miami Dolphin fan?
Oh, wait, come on. Come on. It's right there. It's right there. Behind the shirts, there's a little Santa, Miami Dolphin Santa hat. I was going to close it with, are you a Lakers fan now?
I've always been a Lakers fan. Even before I met Jeannie Buss, I had always been a Lakers fan. So to me, I'm rooting for the Lakers all the way. I'm not rooting for the Miami Dolphins, even though I have a tremendous amount of respect for the organization, but I'm a Green Bay Packers fan.
You're a cheesehead. I would have never thought that. I was thinking maybe the Washington Commanders, thinking the Atlanta Falcons. I was thinking that area of the country. I was thinking over there, but you're a cheesehead. Oh, I got it. All right, so we'll wrap this up because we got to get you out of here. I want you to mention your foundation in closing. But what made you a cheesehead? Brett Favre?
They're winners. My son, I was a Commanders fan forever. But my son at the time when he got interested in football, they were winning. And so I learned more about the organization. I love what they're all about. It's hard not to root for the Green Bay Packers, but I am rooting for your Miami Dolphins. I would like to see them do something because I was always a Dan Marino fan. So very much. But the Endorphasm Foundation, it's endorphasmfoundation.org. All of the services that we offer are free of charge. We have one fundraising event that we do each year. It's called Burpees for Boobs. We just wrapped that up, but we are always looking for support. So if you want to know anything more about the organization, please go to endorphasmfoundation.org.
Wild Women in Wrestling. That's Jungle Girl, Erica Porter. She wears green, and now I know why. Now I know why her ring gear is green. See that? Green Bay Packers. All right, we got to get done. We got to get out of here. Becca and the crew's going to be mad at me. Do you have a cheese head? Do you have a cheese? A styrofoam?
I do have a cheese head, but it never fits on my head.
Thank you, Erica.
Thank you. Peace to all.